Hey everybody, it's Hunter Duel. Today we're going to be working on a 2004 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. We're going to be dealing with the shocks. If the tightener bolt up on top under the hood has snapped off or is stripped out or is maxed out, I'm going to show you how to handle that. The symptom is usually this. Even when it's setting on the ground, you can slop it around and you'll hear that going down the road, especially on straight stretches. There's usually a speed like between 50 to 70 if you're just holding it both sides. If they're out, we'll just slop back and forth as you drive. It's really annoying and you lose a little bit of control from it. So we're gonna get that fixed today. So first things first, tires off. There's a jack on the transmission brace on this side of it, so it picks up this side of the Jeep only. And then I have a scissor jack under here that's putting some stress up on the axle, so that this stays loose and we can deal with it. If you don't have that there, it stays tight because it's being pulled down on. It's a little more of a pain to deal with. Once that's up, I can fit my tire under here for a safety. Now we're going to take off these 2 1/2-inch nuts on the bottom of these studs. And on top of that, something I didn't know when I started this, these are studs and I couldn't get them out of the other one, so I had to go to the hardware store and buy some bolts that were the same size. So you might want to think of that before you start, instead of like me, after I took it apart, I had to have a friend come drive me. This one decided to snap off instead of just coming off, which is fine. It snapped in a way that will still allow this to pop up and over, and we're placing it anyhow. So one time breaking a bolt off doesn't harm anything. Once those nuts are loose, I use a bar like this underneath against this brace, and then I use a large pair of channel locks. I go under here and I rotate up to pop this free. Sometimes these can be stuck pretty bad, but just grab this and you wrestle it out of the way. Shocks compress pretty easy. Now that the lower part's free, you have a couple options. One, you can get a little vibrating saw and you can cut her off right here or here and just pull the other part out the top. Or if you have vice grips around, you can grab vice grips on this and let them hit the edge because this spins with it, and sometimes that'll get that loose. It won't on this one because that's what I tried first. Or if you're very desperate, you can just pull on it really hard and it will break off in a second of back and forth motions. I did this on the other side. I was worried about the hole that it mounts in, and it didn't do anything to it. It just broke the shock off. So. Takes a minute though. This is free. So up on top, just gonna have one guy there. Pull it out. That's it. Vice grips on down below, and a deep well 9/16 on a couple extensions. Go down over this, and just crank her down till you see the bushings start to squish a little bit. Occasionally check your vice grips, make sure it's not spinning. This whole thing right here will spin. It's all attached. It's not going to get crazy tight, just because it's going to do is flatten this rubber out. You can see it's starting to bubble out a little bit. The bushing part, I'm going to get her a little tighter. Still not spinning. This bushing's starting to flatten out as well. I don't want them flat, I just want them squished a little. Looks good. Just snug. Keep in mind, I don't know the torque specs for any of this. However, I've done shocks and struts a couple of times. Snug has never done me wrong on these. However, your vice grips will be a little bit of a pain to get out because they're in a pinch point. Actually, they may have to live there. Sorry, I'd stop the video because I'd use a little bit of anger to get those out, but they're out now, and it's extremely tight. It's wedged in there. Both these are as tight as I can get them without thinking I'm going to break those cheap bolts. So that's going to have to be good. And now just reverse, put your tire back on, take this jack out, take that jack out, and you're good to go.